Hello, can you hear me well? Okay. Opening government here. Clear. Opening opposition.
Yeah, we're here.
Closing government.
Clear.
Closing opposition.
Clear and complete.
All right. So because everyone is already complete, we're gonna have the motion. So welcome to the Novice Grand Final of EIA 2023. So for today, after having 4 rounds, we'll have an info slide first. So the topic will be around there. Info slide. A minimalist lifestyle is intentionally living with fewer possessions, focusing only on the ones you need. Living with less may be the right choice if you're feeling overwhelmed with clutter, if you're looking for fewer distraction, or if you're looking to cut back on spending. 5 seconds before going to the motion. All right, I hope that you understand these 2 sentences. So the motion for Novice Grand Final will be, this house regrets the rise of minimalism lifestyle. This house regrets the rise of minimalism lifestyle. Time is 13:11 now. The debate will start at 13:26 in this room. Thank you so much and good luck. All right, hello everyone. The time is up. For, uh, uh, Closing opposition. Hello, closing opposition.
Yes, we are here complete.
All right, so time definitely 7:20, and then don't forget to mention your POI preference, whether it's through chat or like unmute or other method that's suitable for everyone here, and then that will be it. We'll also give you, yeah, because the time is already there in the screen, so you can also refer to the time as well. So without further ado, I'm calling upon the Prime Minister.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're.
Okay. Your preference, just use chat box. And starting 3, 2, and 1. Understood that the whole world in the status quo is capitalistic in the sense that you have to spend a lot of things to actually survive, right? Minimalist lifestyle just caps you from that and from your full potential. We believe that it's not right, and we believe that the rise of minimalism is not good for society to develop itself because it just caps you from exploring yourself, and it's just going to make you feel that you are running away from your problems there, and just a temporary solution to run away from your problems and so forth. What I'm going to bring my arguments is that firstly about how minimalism is not feasible and implied in nature of humans, and also how it's a false sense of solutions to their problems and so forth. So few important setups and framings. Firstly, what is the minimalist lifestyle itself? Is that the minimalist lifestyle itself is that you cap yourself from spending a lot of things, for example, a lot of possessions, for example. It's like jewelry, clothes, smartphones, electronic devices, and so on and so forth. And or maybe you want to live in the woods, or just go far away from society. Then it's essentially minimalist lifestyle itself. Essentially, what you are doing here is that you are just saying that this stuff is bad for you. Essentially gaslighting yourself that this stuff is bad for you. And you are just being overwhelmed because all of this materialistic stuff is not bad for you. And it's just bad because it's not the fact of the matter is that it's just not right. This is the problems within your life itself not just caused because of those from the material stuff itself, but from yourself itself. So you just giving this just blaming the problem itself on the materials that you buy itself, and this in turn is just not going to make you reach your full potential as a human being and so forth. And and secondly, the lifestyle that we want to embrace is the status quo in lifestyle, the status quo where usual lifestyle where you just buy what you want. When you see jewelries that you like, when you see clothes that you like, you want to buy it, just buy it. Don't need to worry, because it's okay to buy the things that you want, right? So first argument is what the minimalism is not feasible, right? And it's not in line with the nature of humans. So why is it feasible, right? Why is it why minimalist lifestyle is not feasible? So we live that in the capitalistic world, and notice that this world is just full of stuff to buy, and a lot of distractions and so forth. Minimalism actually opposes that, and it's actually bad because when you are living in the minimalist lifestyle, you see all of these distractions. You are just going to say, no, I'm not going to buy that, and you are just actually not it's not good because you are actually capping yourself to actually buying the stuff that you want. For example, it's
POI?
just like no thanks. It's just like how you want to buy a certain thing, for example, or jewelry, for example, for your to um yeah, to make you more happy and so on and so forth. And minimalism actually opposes it because making you not buy those things. And yeah, nature of human itself is that humans have a desire, like, to develop and to maybe reach their uh, uh explore themselves. So minimalist this minimalist lifestyle is just directly opposite it, right? The problem is what with minimalist lifestyle is that you are just yeah not 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 exploring yourself like you want to be, right? Even like I said before, when you want to buy things, you want to buy clothes that are, oh, you see that it's maybe it's good for you see that it's great and beautiful and so on and so forth. You are trying to buy that, you are going to wear it, and yeah, it's going to make me more happy. And yeah, it's you have your desire to wear that clothes, or to you are going to explore yourself further when you are not a minimalist and so on and so forth. And this will be better. And the problem is when you are you are having this minimalist lifestyle, is that you are running away from your problems at life itself, because you are blaming all of your problems within the materials that you buy. For example, maybe you are uh, um maybe you are insecure in social media, for example. Therefore you are disabling all your social media, you are disabling your phones and so on and so forth. And therefore you are just being essentially running away from your problems. There uh, on our side, it's not going to be that. It's more on how you can confront your problems and actually not giving yourself up, and not buy things, and okay, being minimalist and so on and so forth, right? And this is bad because we believe that it's not just these materials that are the problem itself, it's you, and you have to confront it by yourself. And we believe that minimalism is just not very good way to do it, right, at the end of the day. So we believe that in humans itself, not you don't have to do the minimalist lifestyle, and we believe that the rise of minimalist lifestyle is regrettable. We believe that the usual lifestyle in the status quo is already better under our side. So we propose. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much to the Prime Minister for that speech. Now I call upon the Leader of Opposition.
Okay. So I will start my personal timer first. And for my POI preference, please just unmute gender, she, her. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. So, ladies and gentlemen, notice that opening government talks about minimalist lifestyle, meaning keeping you away from buying things. However, that is just a too extreme of definition, and it's not realistic at all. Minimalism means that you only buy what you need, only the necessary stuff. There won't be any unnecessary clutters or designs or buying, making these things as efficient as possible, right? And minimalism also includes food, buying what you only need to eat, meaning like not overbuying things in terms of food, not buying what you don't actually need to eat, etc., etc. So you only buy the foods that you think you can finish it. And rice means popular, it's basically making more people know about it, making it more and more popular. Now, opening government talks about not buying things or something like that. They only talk about like the negative of minimalist, not the negative of like the rise of the minimalist lifestyle. We think that their arguments and what they say is kind of off topic on this motion, and because like Rice is more of promoting it, they only talk about the negative of it, right? So moving on, basically what's happening right now in the status quo, maximalist lifestyle exists. However, it can only be achieved by the privilege, right, design-wise. And maximalist in terms of food is also still very prevalent in like a lot of groups. Everyone keep overbuying food, and it's bad, of course, because then there are a lot of food waste and stuff. And it's also like maximalist lifestyle, it's making the underprivileged feel like they need to buy all those stuff to fulfill their ego and stuff so that they can look as rich as possible. And it's bad for these people's financial. And what we look like is we want people to buying things what they only need. People that are underprivileged can still feel good about their lifestyle. They can make themselves look good and stuff. They can fulfill their ego without having to take a toll on their financial stuff. And there will also be less waste on our side of the house. There will be no useless buying, and there will be, of course, less mess and less clutter. So our mechanism is that people will know why minimalist lifestyle exists. Like people will know why is it important and stuff, because the rise means like there are a lot of influencers that tells us why minimalist lifestyle is good, right? So I will give two arguments. The first one being it's a way to promote less waste on the earth, and the second one being it's a way to support the economy, right? So moving on to my first argument, it's a way to promote less waste on the earth. Why is this important? Well, because that's the problem of the earth right now in the status quo. There are a lot of waste. People keep overbuying things. People keep buying things that they don't actually need. And this creates a lot of waste. A lot of waste means more pollution for the air, for the land, and for the water. There are a lot of trash and garbage everywhere, and a lot of people litter, right? And it's really, really bad for the environment. And the thing is, when you regret the rise of this lifestyle, when you regret the minimalist lifestyle, you are essentially promoting overbuying and overproducing in terms of foods, buildings, and products. So first, let's talk about foods. A lot of people are wasting food right now. They keep buying foods because what they see on Instagram is like people have to eat like a lot of foods and stuff. People in family dinners, there are a lot of foods right in Instagram, and that's why people like overbuy foods, because they think it's like they think it's because they don't think that their food is enough. However, they end up not eating it and then wasting these foods that they bought because it has expired or because they are already full. And secondly, in terms of buildings, maximalist buildings require more material for the designs, right? And what this creates is when like maximalist lifestyle is like prevalent, there will be more demands on these materials, meaning there will be more exploitation of the earth in terms of mining. There will be a lot of more demand on that. And not only this waste, there are a lot of waste in material, but also bad for the environment because of the exploitation in mining. Like there will be more and more exploitation if you support maximalist lifestyle. And it wastes on material because that material can be used for a lot of different things, but instead it is used for only the design of buildings and stuff. And thirdly, about products. When you support maximalist lifestyle, you are essentially promoting like buying a lot of things for collection or for to make your house looks good and stuff. And this creates more demand for factory, meaning there will be more and more pollution. Factory will produce a lot of these things. So how will we do that? How will we promote less waste on earth? Because minimalist means only buying necessary stuff. Influencer will promote like minimalist is only buying necessary stuff, right? And the thing is, more people will realize that you don't need everything, meaning there will be less waste in food and materials. More people will promote this, like promote that, oh, you don't need to buy all of this stuff. So yeah, we are promoting lesser waste on earth. Moving on to my second argument, it's a way to support the economy. And the thing is, why is this important? Because right now jobs are getting harder and harder to get because of the inflation and because of high demand. Like the job market sucks right now. So the thing is, how will we do that? How will we support the economy? How will the rise of minimalist lifestyle do that? Because right now, we've seen that there are a lot of minimalist lifestyle vlogs, right? People promoting minimalist lifestyle. And it's good because it can be a source of income. And it's not an income that can only be done by the privileged, but the underprivileged can also do that. They can make their own vlog channels, and it can generate money to them. And there will also be more chance for small business making minimalist and necessary products for these vlogs to review and stuff. And so what we create is we create more jobs market. We support the economy more, and it's like really good. And like compare it to the maximalist lifestyle, and not everyone can do that, right? When you want to make a maximalist lifestyle vlog, only the privileged can do that. Only the people that initially already have money can do that. Only they can buy like a lot of this stuff to like make a tour of their room and stuff. Only the privileged can do that. But on our side of the house, not only them, but also the underprivileged, it can support their economy drastically, and it create more jobs for them. So that's our urgency. Because we want to promote less waste on earth, and we want to support the economy. Happy to oppose. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much to the Leader of Opposition for that speech. Now I call upon the Deputy Prime Minister. And for all debaters, we highly encourage giving and receiving VOI for the engagement of this debate. Yep, it's time for the Deputy Prime Minister.
Test, am I audible?
You are.
All right. Okay. My friend is just unmuting yourself. I'm going to start my speech in 3, 2, 1. First point of clarifications. We regret the loss of minimalism lifestyle doesn't mean we also uphold the maximalism lifestyle. We think even though this is not a debate that should, put whether what your stand is right. The purpose of the debate is not proving you whether the rise of minimalism lifestyle or bad or good. For example, to the society it's right. Or BOP is to prove you why status quo is really progressive, why it's okay for example for the society. And this never been explained. But let's respond to OO, right? First, the idea of going to having lesser buying or having small business to actually fly is invalid. Why? Because when people are going to go for minimalism lifestyle, meaning they are going to lesser buy a product that might think don't functional, for example. But there is so many products that actually fulfilling any kind of matter of purpose, for example. Even though it might have functionally, have a function for you, but it still have the essence of aesthetic, for example, of happiness, etc. Right? It not always functions that are being upheld by products, but how the people having the interest to actually buy it to actually boost the right of happiness, for example, or even though, but moreover, in terms of the house, there will be much more lesser market because people are not going to buy things, for example, that I think don't function as a common thing that I think not functioning, right? It can make a trouble in the economic because more people are going losing their job because no one going to buy it at the end of the day, right? But let's take a look on the on how minimalism exists. Humans have problem on current status quo, right? There is so many variable that is out of control. For example, you are just buying so much as it is, right? And they cannot organize it. It making so much clutter, for example, such as you don't know where to put accessory or property, etc. Or you also having a greedy, for example, to buying things, like. But the problem is that the problem with this human put solutions to actually having the minimalism, while there is another kind of solution. For example, you can just control your income, or you can control what you want to buy based on whether it's happiness, for example, whether it's happy or not, but not to limit to the expense where it limits your power, it limits your right or your interest, for example, as the human, for example. This is problematic because at the end, minimalism in status quo is really extreme. For example, you only buy that things that have a fun, fully functioning for yourself, but it never, fulfilling your interest, for example, or your happiness, for example, to buy a things that you want, for example. But the worst is that some people also buy. So some people also eating, for example, 2 times. For example, you think you can survive by eating only 2 times in one day, and this become the part of minimalism lifestyle, since you can also offer a lesser outcome, for example, lesser expenses in your life, for example, right? But 2, people goes minimalism have suffered to the point they are scared to go or to other society or to go to ISAT. Why? Because by having so much or to limit their ability, they become so envy and so scared to look how society they're still choosing to choose another kind of lifestyle, not minimalism lifestyle. They can spending stuff, etc. etc., making them to actually being limited on being segregated by the society because they're scared, because they cannot do anything comparative to society that not choose this minimalism lifestyles like. But two, the problem is that human choice by using the minimalism lifestyle wasn't effective at all. It is only disrespect and disregard of what your capability is and what your desire is as a human, right? I'm going to preempt for Odencho. Even if they say that in terms of the how that will be hedonistic or spending, we say no. Why? Hey, human have the desire as the media for them to actually mobilize their actions. There is also rationality, right? Logicality that might become the safety net for they so that become hedonistic and buy things, uselessly, for example. E.g., it is to say that you want to buy some stuff, but you also think of the availability, your economic capability, the matter of importance. Is there any alternative that you can buy instead buying that thing? For example, you can buy a local brand comparatively when you cannot afford an international brand, for example, right? Let's be charitable and play in our worst case. Even if then we are going to be hedonistic, we say that, oh, okay, because the moment when they go to hedonistic, there is so many problems that can make the rationality become much more. For example, when you are going to be broke, you think you know that your problem is that because you are being hedonistic, this impact are going to go to your financial wise. You have the regretness to actually aware to your last interest. So at the end, this your last interest and your economy are going to be go work well balanced together, not but not like minimalism, right? Three, have people. They also have the people that born to them actually, for example, like family and person. This is exclusive to us of the house because the idea of the minimalism is only to think that stuff this function to yourself only, not to people that are close to you, for example, not to people that born to you. The intention to weighing whether your stuff that you buy it can be mutually beneficial to other people at the end. This is what can be of matter because you can say this as a scale of priority, whether your stuff you buy will actually beneficial to your friends or to your family. This is exclusive at the end of the day also of the house like. But two, this cannot be said minimalism since it's limit your funding and capability to expenses your money in regards of your self-pleasure or other that might be beneficial with your another lifestyle, for example. This is problematic because it can suffer your inner idea as a human. At the end of the day, I'm going to explain later. First, what kind of characteristic of human is? Human born with lust and intention. This is natural and is the biggest gift God could give, right? E.g., I want to go for debating because I have the intention to do so, right? Example, this is the biggest biggest currency for you to move actually and to improve as a human being, right? The moment when minimalism lifestyle means you are going to limit yourself desire and interest simply on the premise that you need to cut off your budget, harming yourself so you can save more than usual. It took your natural as human to actually having desire because this is really problematic because more people fighting against their desire on current status quo, right? Limit their dreams or they wanted by how? I don't think, for example, I don't think I need to use coach in debating because it's spending a lot of money. While you can still learning, etc. Like this is some kind of things that might think of the minimalism lifestyle. It can make you it can hinder and stop you to improving because at the end you might think another kind of alternative that only function that might you think and functional but not at all, for example, like. But two, how the leasing of lifestyle is bad. Understand this leasing of lifestyle is influence society, for example, to things. For example, if this thing is not like less functions, you don't buy it, for example. They never thinks whether to buy these all things in the regards of their happiness, etc. Right? Meaning also at the end, the society are going to, yeah, I don't need it. For example, I'm going to limit everything in it, whatever it takes to. At the end, people who actually want to sharing that happens on the current status quo, people want to buy things, even though this is not functional, but this is their like. People are going to be rejected and to be, being harassed by the society because they don't follow what the kind of minimalism lifestyle because it's already rise on current status quo, right? This is also a problem because at the end, it limits how happiness on the current status quo to on the society to actually access to this point, right? But thirdly, it's about the flexibility, right? I think on that side of the house, the moment when you limit your property, for example, in house, etc., you only buy something that you need, for example, it limits your flexibility at the end of the day because you only have things that only available that really available and this, for example, in your house, for example, you cannot do anything else, for example, because you don't buy things that you might any other things, for example, like. But lastly, I think that even though CG bring to you, for example, how then this can actually harm more society. I think that at the end, it still rely on our case to propose.
All right, thank you so much for the Deputy Prime Minister for that speech. Now I call upon the Deputy Leader of Opposition. Time's yours.
Hello. So let me introduce myself. I am the second speaker of opening opposition. I will start my timer in 3, 2, 1. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings to all. Allow me to introduce myself. Hello, I am the second speaker of opening opposition. Now, of course, as we all know, the motion says that this House regrets the rise of minimalism lifestyle. Now that I oppose because a minimalized lifestyle involves living with fewer resources, whether in terms of a house or possession. It is also a part of the thought process, how a person chooses to live with all the minimal things in life that is yet to be satisfied. Minimalist lifestyle is by no means an extremist lifestyle, but it is rather an optimal one, which is why we pose that because a minimalized lifestyle is a lifestyle that benefits, it does not harm anyone or anything. It is in fact rather only beneficial for people. Now, such examples of minimalized lifestyles are, of course, less waste from food, items, and ingredients. A minimalist lifestyle also helps to minimize the use of, for example, natural resources and etc. Now, I would also like to mention that minimalism lifestyle also benefits the economy, whether it is individually and societally and as a society. Now, let me elaborate. By benefiting the economy in an individual and in a society way, as an individual minimalist lifestyle, not not overbuy. Like for example, it makes people not overbuy. And since minimalist lifestyle means buying enough and not too much, which makes people save their money and prevents overbuying and also prevents people from making companies overproduce, which means it will promote less waste. Now, a lot of companies, of course, they overproduce because the demand is high. But we also need to know that some of that is caused by them not living the life of a minimalist lifestyle, aka they do overbuying, which cause the demand to be high and people to immediately overbuy, which of course makes the company to overproduce. Now, it will cost such as the waste of food resources, such as, for example, natural resources that are used to make food, to also make furniture as well. And it also helps to conserve the environment for society. It increased the economy for the small people. Now, for society, it increased the economy for the small people because they ended up getting jobs by promoting the minimalist lifestyle, like, for example, making the furnitures and making the foods and etc. They end up getting jobs from doing those works. Now, I would also moving on to my rebuttals. Now, OG doesn't explain why it keeps us from exploring stuff. Now, first of all, um, with the existence of minimalist lifestyle, we could first of all explore our creativity, which leads to more innovation in order for us to make a better society. With the existence of minimalist lifestyle, it helps us in order to achieve such things. So we can create a better lifestyle for all of us, for the whole of humanity. Now, I'd also like to rebuttal this. OG, or should I say opening government, said that the rise of minimalist lifestyle is limiting us. How so? Now, the rise of or the popularity of it doesn't force us to do anything. It in fact helps us to, of course, stay down to earth and to have a better logic. And by that, I mean, it helps us to, of course, not overbuy. It helps us to have a rational mind by not wasting our money. Now, I'd like to also have another rebuttal for the opening government. Now, the opening government said we can just save our money. Exactly, that's how minimalist lifestyle helps you to save money to buy the things that you actually need, not the things that you actually don't need. It helps us to buy enough things instead of too much. Now, minimalism does not directly mean cutting your budget. You can spend a lot of money to do the things to buy the things you actually need. Now, I would also like to add another one. Opening government talked about being harassed for not being minimalist. Minimalist. However, that's not true at all. We can see in the status quote, no one is harassed extremely for not following a minimalist lifestyle. It is simply a choice whether you want to live a minimalist lifestyle or not. A lifestyle is a choice in the first place. It's not It's not a 100% like a must. It's not in the law, but it is a choice. Now, I'd also like to say my arguments. Now, the first argument is minimalist lifestyle is a good way to handle overpopulation because it takes out less space. You guys need to know that minimalist lifestyle also helps the infrastructure. As people know, minimalist lifestyle has lots of impact, whether it's from furniture, food, and so many more. There are so many forms of it. Like, for example, minimalist. It basically means having a minimal amount, but it is enough to say the definition of that. Now, of course, minimalist lifestyle in this argument means that it takes out less space. Now, with it taking out less space, it will also help us to handle overpopulation and benefits us from making more infrastructure and etc. Now, moving on to my second argument, which is minimalist lifestyle is also a good way to make the infrastructure better and also handles overpopulation. Now, with the making of better infrastructure from the style of minimalist lifestyle, we should all know that minimalist lifestyle also makes us save more space that we could use to make better infrastructure and to expand our, for example, cities, our houses, and etc., and make it even better. Now, infrastructure is very important. It also determines a country's level of advancement. Now, with the proof of having a minimalist lifestyle, other countries, like for example, advanced countries, first stage countries like America, other countries in Europe, like for example, Germany, first-rate countries such as those like Japan, will also see us and will, of course, help us and see us in a different light, which makes them want to approach us and helps us in, well, not help us, but also work together with us because they see us as a same level of a country, which is a first stage country. Now, that is the end of my speech. That is the end of my speech. If I have said anything wrong, I apologize and thank you. Oh yeah, and by the way, I also have a question. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, definitely. All right. Thank you so much. So it's
Okay, thank
7,
you.
yeah, it's 7:27. So we listened to the entire speech already. So thank you so much to the Deputy Leader of Proposition for that speech. Now let's start with the closing team. I call upon the member of government.
Hello, am I audible?
You are audible.
Okay. So PI preference, if you want to do PI, just unmute yourself. I'm going to start my speech in 3, 2, 1. So the OG said about how minimalism will cut us from capitalism. Sadly, OG doesn't explain how. Because if capitalism is the system where private property is recognized, then I would say that capitalism is not linear with minimalism. And even if what the OG claim is true, capitalism is not actually all that bad. We as a society benefits a lot of things from capitalism. Here's a better mechanism and more critical question we need to ask ourselves. First, is minimalism actually sustainable? Humans have a natural instinct where they are attracted to something, they have hobby, they have passion, such as they're attracted to anime figures, they are attracted to motorcycles, so on and so forth. If they suppress this kind of emotion under the notion of minimalism, do they actual will or actual interest gone, or are they just trying to suppress it? We believe suppressing this kind of a wish list or interest will only outcome in impulsive buying and outbursts where you overbuy things. And this will end up overlying the actual goals of minimalism and ended up as a worse spending habit. Secondly, do minimalism lifestyle support our patient? The OG already said this, but I will try to deliver more back analysis. First, people with passion like music who collect vinyl, people who like to surf and have to have a several surfing board. Because minimalism focuses on the things we need and not the things we want. Minimalism doesn't support human having passion, which is very important because passion is a form of entertainment, source of funding ourselves, where we might feel burdened by our work and study, we often run to our patient. And when minimalist lifestyle and then minimalist lifestyle will limit ourselves, will limit human expression. We believe it actually burden us rather than benefit human. And then number 3 is that I'm going to tell you that not everyone can apply minimalism. Though you might think, what's so hard being minimalism? It's just like on as minimum as possible. Well, for people who put buying or shopping as source of vacation, people who can afford actual holiday and to do some self-care hobby. Because buying things is actually more affordable than trip to Bali or trip to do fun. Theoretically, minimalists include cut or spending. But for people who live in very tight budget monthly and need like fast release or like the source of entertainment, you might call it as shopping therapy. This kind of lifestyle won't work for people that I said earlier. And then number two, people that can actually do minimalism is that people who work directly with consumer such as like sales director, actress, people who don't use uniform and have to look representable, people who have to look good every day. We say it's very impossible for them to have minimalist lifestyle because they have to look good in order to do good in their job. These people, as I said earlier, are the inclusive people who can participate in minimalism. Therefore, we as a government are strongly opposed to the rise of minimalist lifestyle. It excludes certain group of people from society. And then OO asked OG about the disadvantage of rising minimalism lifestyle. Sadly, since OG didn't answer, I would like to, CG would like to answer. So first, people with what is like the bad effect of rising minimalism lifestyle? First, people with minimalist lifestyle think they are superior. They think they contribute more to healthier lifestyle. The rise of minimalism lifestyle push everyone to do so. They blame other people who spend their own money for something minimalism people think unimportant or irrelevant. Or might say that, oh, there's no harm, there's no one getting harassed if they are not doing the minimalism trend. But this motion talk about the rising of minimalism and not the general conception of minimalism. If there's like a rise of minimalism, it's a kind of a trend. And when people are left out from the trend, they are feeling judged and people stereotype people and the minimalism people who stereotype people who spend their own money as for consume. We believe that it's their own money. People should have maximum control about how they want to spend it. It's their hard work, own salary. So why we have to limit people on what to buy just because of minimalism? And then people will be more judgmental since there's a general standard for minimalism. People have different perspective on what minimalism is. They have different needs. By increasing trend of minimalism, they will have like general standard of what minimalism is. But as I said earlier before, we can do that because we have a different needs. And then people can be judged when their definition of minimalism not suitable towards standard, and then it will bring more burden to people when they buy something. And then we actually have to ask this: do actually people do minimalist because they want it, or just they think it's a kind of aesthetic? The rest of this lifestyle makes the ways of people wanting to try minimalist. Do they actually feel the benefit that the other has claim, or no? They just see minimalist lifestyle as something neat, black and white, other neutral color collection. They don't see the actual benefit. They don't see and they don't feel the actual benefit, and they just feel pressure to match other people. Also said that maximalism will also cause also this case where you have to have this feeling you have to follow the others. But we say in our house there are no limit about being maximalism. At the end of the day, people in our house will realize their financial limit. But in the other house, in the opposition, people will feel the burden. Oh, I have a lot of money. Maybe I should try it because if I have too much back, I will not support minimalism. And then the opposition also said that maximalism will make people want to look rich, but I think this also happened in minimalists. If people want to do minimalist lifestyle, people would want to buy branded things because, oh, I only have one bag, I should buy Gucci, and then after that, if I have a Gucci, then I would never buy a bag again. Look how minimalist lifestyle would burden people. In our house, people doesn't have to wait to have enough money to buy something branded, something good. We think the gap between rich and poor will show more significant with minimalist lifestyle. Moving on to my argument is that minimalists will only focus on our needs and will neglect our wants. People won't buy things based on the way it looks or how interesting the project is. They don't value the marketing strategy, so on and so forth. The decrease of consumerism with the rise of minimalism will make people buy less things, thus decreasing the economy. This point will be later explained by my second speaker. And then there will be less innovation and room for business that offers other kind of products other than minimalist products. Yes, we need a laptop, but what about a laptop with some kind of innovation? If we limit what people want, then this business room will not improve. And then will actually lead to a decreasing of working field, and then also People will focus less on the design and how the product look rather than just like the function of the product. Meanwhile, there are a lot of people who are responsible for this artistic value of a product, and then it will lead to like it will affect in marketing purpose, such as people that work in design. This will create less working field for them, just like what I said before on like the working field. And then due to the point that was said before, we can see too that this will decrease innovationness, especially in art sector. There will be less people who want to get a degree in art or study art because we actually just see a product in and how they function and not how they look. And therefore, I'm finding part to propose. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for the member of government for that speech. Now I call upon the member of opposition.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
All right. My preferred gender pronouns is I don't really mind. You can refer to me as anything. And my POI preferences is for you to just unmute yourself. And I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. In the current status quo, people are never satisfied with what they have and are very consumerism-centric. People are always taught to always want more and more, and this causes like many hoarders, especially in the USA, to arise. And this is something that we, as the closing opposition, strives to diminish and counter with the rise of the minimalism lifestyle. Before moving on, some rebuttals then. Opening government brings that status quo is capitalist and that it and then this minimalism lifestyle caps people's abilities to explore themselves. However, we believe that it is exactly because the world is capitalist. We believe that the rise of minimalism lifestyle can help remedy the issues within the status quo, which I will elaborate further upon in my substantive speeches. And even if it does cap people's abilities, we question what exactly are the impacts on people's abilities and people's abilities to supposedly explore themselves, because we don't necessarily limit them to not explore their needs whatsoever. We still let them to fulfill their own needs. It's not like we prohibit them for even exploring what they want or what they need. And besides, we don't force this lifestyle upon people. We only support the rise of the minimalism lifestyle, and it is still up to the people whether they want to adopt this lifestyle or not. Secondly, government believes that people should buy what they want. However, this is the exact mindset that pushes consumerism, and it is something that even further worsens the status quo, which I will elaborate further upon in my substantive. And third of all, opening government brings that the people will be happier. However, the happiness that is granted in the opening government side is only because of the instant gratification that is only momentary, that comes with from buying things that can only bring some momentary happiness, which is something that is not long-lasting happiness, and it is not something that is worth about to risk all the harms that comes with consumerism and the capitalistic norm that the status quo brings, which I will also further upon in my substantive. Fourth, this is something that the government clearly champions, is that people will not buy things on our side. However, this is not possible at all, as people on our side still buy food and other things that will still break, and people will still need to replace it. And besides, people will still need to fulfill their needs. People will still buy food, people will still buy drinks. It's not that they go on a sabbatical and completely ignore their needs. People will still fulfill the market. So this further, all this proves all the claims that the government brings that the market and the economy will not develop. That opening government also brings that people will still rationally spend on opening government. However, this will be disproven by my characterization that I will bring. And seventhly, the closing government champions the idea that people will be judgmental on our side. However, people have different needs, and people will still have empathy to understand that, and they will not be as judgmental, because judgment is something that will happen anyway in any other rising mindset. It's not exclusive to minimalism, and it's not exclusive on our side at all. Therefore, this is something that is not harm that can truly bring down our case. And the government side says that art will grow obsolete, and it will no, thank you. They mentioned that art will grow obsolete. However, we can contest this by saying that people will still fulfill their needs, and art is also considered as a need for some people. So therefore, art will not grow obsolete. And even if art grows obsolete, we believe that it will only happen in a marginal percentage on our side to really discredit minimalism lifestyle. Moving on, some reframing then. We, as the closing opposition, find it super important to note that we will still include stuff that is classified as primary and secondary needs, such as cars and motorcycles. What we don't support is an excessive amount of it, or maybe even if they do need an extra amount, we believe that it is still okay because it's regulated and proportionate to the own priority scale, and it doesn't betray the minimalism lifestyle, as the definition is that people will only need hold on to belongings that they actually need. And if they do actually need 2 cars, for let's say if they are a big family, we still believe that it is okay since it is still proportionate to their own needs. We believe that the rise of the minimalism lifestyle should not be regretted because number one, the rise specifically can combat the rampant consumerism, which I have already characterized to you before. And secondly, it can bring a trickle-down effect on the displays. And this is elaborating on something that is brought by the opening opposition, but unfortunately, they did not elaborate much upon. Number one, on how the right specifically can combat the rampant consumerism within the capitalistic status quo. We, as the closing opposition, believe that the rise of minimalism is essential in combating the increasingly harming status quo, which is the capitalist status quo that the opening government has vehemently said. When capitalism is the status quo, everything is commercialized. Everything that has value will be profited off. Producers will endlessly champion and advertise the products everywhere and in your face, constantly pushing you to buy as the pockets will get more and more heavy. This breaks the norm of consumerism where people feel the need to buy and even stuff they don't even need. And this is something very present and stays in all of our society nowadays, which is why to combat a status quo so strong and highly agreed upon, we need a stronger weapon, which is where the rise of minimalism comes to play, and this is where the closing opposition steps in. With the rise of minimalism, where it is very popular, super important so that it can combat the strong status quo. With an ideal that is at the same power level as the status quo, we can help negate the harms brought by the capitalistic mindset. Once people have the knowledge of minimalism, they will cut back on spending and learn to actually filter what is needed and what is not, meaning that people will be much more happier and with what they have and learn to appreciate and be happy with what they have. In comparison with opening government and closing government, where this capitalistic lifestyle, where people are more susceptible to consumerism and buy excessive products and be unhappy with their belongings and situation, as they are surrounded by clutter, which reminds them of the unwise shopping and serves as a callous reminder of wasted money that they messed up upon. And it messes up people's psychology and has been psychologically proven to cause a lot of mental disturb within a person. We will have less clutter, meaning that the people on our side will be much more happier and feel so much more alleviated burden of their shoulders and lead to a better mental health. Furthermore, when people cut back on spending, we effectively help people to save their money, which is a huge benefit, as it can help people to fund their own education requirements and what have you. It also pushes, in comparison to the government side, where it pushes a norm that squeezes that money. Number two, and how it can bring a trickle-down effect for the misplaced. We admit that there is a very possible chance that waste will happen on our side as people get rid of their belongings as they adopt to this lifestyle. However, we believe that it is okay since the things that the people discard can go to the display as donation. For example, excessive clothing, toys, books, and so many more. This is already happening in status quo where people donate stuff that they don't need anymore to charities and orphanages. And this is something that is highly amplified on our side as more and more people will be incentivized to do so. And for all those reasons above, I'm very proud to have opposed.
All right, thank you so much for the member of the opposition for that speech. Now I call upon the opposition whip, the government whip, sorry.
Is my voice audible?
You're audible.
Okay, I'm going to start my speech in 3, 2, 1. So first of all, I'm going to talk about how the OG express their opinion. They are too focused on how minimalism suppresses human expressive intention, but we give more analysis about that, and they don't really deliver about the practical effect on the economy about this minimalism trend. And also, OO said that by minimalism, people will only buy things that are necessary, which means they buy less things, and there will be less waste on earth. But we think that it's not 100% right. By minimalism, people can explore themselves because of the trending lifestyle of minimalism. Meanwhile, not everyone suits this lifestyle. When they give up with this lifestyle, and then they will go to another kind of lifestyle. For example, like the generalized standard of minimalism is like clothes that are not too fancy looking, or the artistic side is not really creative, and some people may not suit with that kind of clothes. And when they give up with this lifestyle because it doesn't suit them, then there will be more waste because of these standardized minimalism products. Meanwhile, in our side of the house, they can choose whatever they like, whatever they want, and it doesn't suppress their artistic side or what the aesthetic that they prefer. And they said too that maximalism only able to be afforded by the rich. Meanwhile, minimalism can be applied for poor people, which is not 100% right too. They said that people by giving more minimalism, they said that minimalism give chance to small companies that create minimalism products, which means that can support economy. That is totally wrong, because there will be more centralized economy where only several top companies can survive, because the only sector that is like surviving or like following the trend is like minimalism. And so there will be more competition in terms of like lifestyle products. And then there will be less company, because not all company can survive this competition. And even small companies, especially small companies that maybe they try to produce like minimalism products, and they will not survive because there are already top companies that specializes in that. And not all small companies specializes on making minimalism products, because there are companies that makes creative stuffs too, that maybe people think that it's not really that functional for them, but on the artistic side is like they can enjoy that and stuff like that. And so these small companies can also not survive in their side of the house. And then also said that it makes people not overbuy, and then it stop company for overproducing, which we said that less consumerism isn't always bad. Consumerism is what makes us today. Like capitalism, consumerism isn't always bad. By consumerism, the economy can rise, and production of minimalism products doesn't mean less waste. Apart from the failing companies that try to produce minimalism,
Yeah,
there are no, thank you. There are also minimalism like minimalism products doesn't mean that they cost less, because, for example, like you see nutritious foods, those are the foods that you need. Like you really need proteins and like really nutritious and healthy food. But the fact is, healthy food costs even more than eating, for example, like only what you want to eat. And then they said that it is a choice in their side of the house for people to choose whether they want to choose minimalism lifestyle or not. But my first speaker already said that it is a trend. When it is a trend, when it is like a really rising trend, people will be pushed to follow this lifestyle, even though they don't really feel comfortable about this lifestyle. And they said that by
PI.
minimalism, no, thank you. By having minimalism, they will give more rooms to build infrastructure. No, this is not right. Infrastructure and like the basis of all innovation in this world is to help make life easier. Meanwhile, when you have a minimalism mindset, sometimes you, like for example, sometimes you don't actually need some innovative products, but if it exists, it will help your life. If minimalism mindset really exists and rising in people, then people will like reject innovative products because it doesn't really that functional to them, because the parameter of what they will buy is like how much function it is to them. If it's not really that functional, or it doesn't really affect their life that much, even though it's like an innovation that makes their life easier, they won't choose that. So infrastructure or other kind of innovation will be halted
PI.
because of this rising minimalism lifestyle. And the CEO that they don't necessarily limit themselves to fulfill they don't necessarily limit people to fulfill their needs. But as we said before, there will be general standard that burden people, and not all people have the same needs as like the generalized standard of minimalism. And so this will burden people and make people more judgmental to what other people buy. And in their side of the house, they said that people will still buy things. Meanwhile, as we said before, there will be less consumerism because of the burden of minimalism. For example, for example, if you have this minimalism lifestyle, you already have one bag, but you see some bag that are aesthetically pleasing for you, but you don't choose to buy that bag just because you already have one bag. And so logically there's less consumerism, and they said that it's not going to be that judgmental and stuff like that. No, judgmental will extremely rise because of minimalism, because people that choose minimalism lifestyle feel like they are superior and stuff like that, that like my first speaker already said. And the percentage of and you know that not many people can suit this lifestyle, because you can see the percentage of luxury products or secondary needs being produced, means that people naturally want several things, various things, not only just like standardized minimalism products. And so this is not natural to people, and so if this trend rises, it will suppresses their needs and also become and also make people more judgmental to other people. And that is why we have the best case here, and also, and that is why I'm so proud to propose. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for the government whip for that speech. Now I call upon the opposition whip. Time is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, nice. Wait a minute. Let me just arrange my paper first since it is so messy. Wait, okay, yeah, without further ado, let's just start. Anyways, POI preference verbally unmute because I want to read your chat as well. But preferably it is 4 to 5 minutes. If I don't accept, yeah, my apologize. Then yeah, I'll just start in 3, 2, and 1. Why these three bench OG, CG, and OO already failed their case at the get-go? Firstly, OG and CG literally misunderstood on what does minimalist mean. So we told you that minimalist is not that we cannot buy everything. We cannot buy everything, right? We still can buy the things that we need. We, for example, can still buy cars, motorcycle, or etc. But we don't buy it merely because we want to. For example, like there is the newest iPhone 14, so I should buy it. No, in our side, it is just merely we buy. For example, we buy this phone because we need to, right? Secondly, that CG's entire case is OG's is that the copy paste of the OG's case, right? So they only told you that why a minimalist is bad or etc. because it hinders people to buy anything. Why it is already mentioned by the OG, so CG cannot be credited onto this debate. Secondly, then only focusing on why maximalism is bad or etc. without even protecting why minimalism is better for individuals or etc. So their case also falls at the get-go, right? So in our side, we are more realistic. We told you that minimalist is that when people only fulfill their desire. For example, they buy their food to eat, for example, or to buy car to go to the office and etc. And then my member already told you before, right? Beforehand, a few points of rebuttals, right? So 2 points. Firstly, propositions told you that this will hinder and stop the people to improving the skill because they think that it is expensive or etc. We told you that skill improvement is a need for someone. So government team already failed to separate what is need and what is desire, because skill improvement will help them to improve to the societies, to get along with the societies. So it is a need, not a desire. It means that simply like a luxury cars or the newest phone, while their phone is still okay and can be used or etc. This is just a logical fallacy that has been proved by the government side, right? Even if they don't want to cost some money to improve their skill, we think that it is their choice. It is still allowable. They can just do it individually. For example, like looking at a Google, YouTube, or etc. It is still justifiable for them, right?
Secondly, that they told you that their site is better because people can buy everything that they want. This is just wrong because this increases their FOMO mindset, like following people's necessities. For example, like if people buy LV, if people buy Gucci, that I should have to in order to not be left out. This is more harmful on their side because they just following the others or etc. while they don't have enough money, but they just don't want to be left out, right? But here, let's be charitable. They might told you that the rise of minimalism is also based on the media, which is also make people FOMO to follow this kind of minimalism, right? But we say that it is a better FOMO because this can help them to reduce the consumerism, to be more considerable, to buy things or etc. So on our side, it is more impactful, a good impactful for their life because they can be more considered on what should they waste, right? But then moving on to my two questions. Firstly, on which site can fulfill the actor needs better. Secondly, which site can create more happiness. Firstly, that first question that OG told you that our site gaslighting people. For example, like I cannot buy this thing because it is bad, etc. But we already told, and they told you on their case is that minimalists don't allow people to buy everything, right? We think that this is really not true because on this mindset, people can think twice. They can be more considerable. For example, like they want to buy a car, they weigh the quality more over the models. For example, like as long as that car still can be used, they prefer to buy it. And secondly, that onto buying drinks, they can still buy drinks like boba, for example, but it is a once a lifetime, not every day, right? Because they realize that if they buy too much, it can cause a consumerism, and it is also not good for themselves, right? But even if they're restricted with that mindset. For example, I buy something. If they want to buy something, they're not allowed to because it is bad. We think that it is still not that bad because of one reason, because meaning that they're already mature enough. It is that not to buy everything just because they desire to, just not because their first eyesight they want to, so that this also will adapt to their income, which is also better, right? And also and here OG failed to realize two things, propositions. Firstly, minimalism does not meaning that we are poor, we are being poor, etc. But it just means like we are being mediocre. We just don't want to buy a luxury stuff, or we just don't want to buy luxury stuff, or etc. Secondly, the outside still fulfill their needs once a lifetime. For example, and they want to buy boba, they're still allowed to, but not every day, but not in a much amounts, or etc. Because we value the quality over the quantities, right? Secondly, that sorry, for all case, they told you that they can prevent lots of pollutions, but they don't exactly tell you how it will reduce it. So the only point is that they want throw food too much, etc. This is just not exclusive, and their points is just of maximalist is just extreme. For example, like people like to throw food, etc. So in our point, how can we reduce the pollutions? For example, if you have toys you don't use anymore, but since you have the mindset of minimalist, meaning that you are of virtue anymore, you think that you don't need those toys, but children still need those toys. So you can just share those toys to the children, and the children can play those toys, which is still can be reused by other people, right? So in our side, this how we can reduce the pollutions, right? Secondly, then which sites can create more happiness? They let's just counter that they told you that our side don't want to work hard because of the survival. But we told you that minimalism does not mean we are poor. We still need to fulfill our own desire, meaning that we still have to fulfill what we want to in our car, etc. Right? So they still have the incentive to work hard in order to fulfill their survival needs, right? But comparatively, our side, on their side, people work hard in only to chase wealth. For example, if they got the money, they just buy, for example, the luxury things, or etc. So their money will just cost there, and they don't have another money anymore to be saved, or etc. But on our side, even if they only work for the fulfillment needs, or etc., it is more better on our side. Twofold. Firstly, we are more considerable for our people's income. For example, separate the portion for food,
Upward, I think I
separate
saw
the
it 720.
for
All right, so that's the end for the debate in the Novice Grand Final. Thank you everyone for the debate now, because later I think that the breaking announcement is gonna be in, oh no, the announcement of like the champion and everything will be in another Zoom. You may leave this Zoom. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kak.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for all the instructors and the judges as well.